Hi Triangle Bakery friends. It's been a moment since we've done a video, so I hope everybody is doing well. It's been a lot of challenges in 2020 so far, and a lot of opportunities as well. So I hope everybody's taking advantage of the opportunities, and we pray your safety through the challenges. So today, I actually got a request on Etsy, and the request was for a vegan keto cake, but based on her specific health requirements, she also needed not to use any oil. So typically with our vegan keto cakes, we do use coconut oil in replace of butter, or either vegan butter. But for today's cake, what we're going to do is a little experiment to see how this works. So what she asked us to do is to see if we could use vegan yogurt. So I do have some vegan yogurt here, and we're actually going to use applesauce as well as our binder. So let's see how this turns out. Okay, so first we're going to start with almond flour. We'll have an almond flour base to this cake. So this is going to be just a small test cake. So I'm only going to use a cup of almond flour. When we actually make this for real, we'll sift the almond flour and make sure it's nice and smooth. But just for today's test, we will go ahead and just use the almond flour as is. We're going to use sweetener. So this is the sweetener that I have is a proprietary blend that we use here at Triangle Bakery, but it is a allulose with a monk fruit extract. So we're going to put in about a half a cup of that, and we may change that to taste. In order to get our rice, we're going to put in about half a tablespoon of baking powder. So I think those are our main dry ingredients. So we're going to start testing with our wet ingredients. So now we have our applesauce. And I'll go ahead and turn on the blender for a second and let the dry mix up. And I'm just going to start with a tablespoon of the applesauce. As it's mixing in well, we'll go for 2 tablespoons. Yep, that's looking great. And now I'll go back to the vegan yogurt. And I'll start with just a tablespoon of it. That's mixing in well. I think I'm now going to try another tablespoon of the applesauce. And so how am I telling what I'm going to use? I don't really have a scientific method of doing that. I'm just looking at the texture. So when we finish in a second, I'll show you what that texture looks like. So right now, this is our texture, right? So it's not too loose, but it's not dry and crumbly either. So let's give it a little taste and make sure it tastes kind of creamy. Okay, so it actually tastes delicious. I'm going to add some vanilla to this. And we're going to just use this small, I think it's maybe a 5-inch oiled bacon dish. So we'll put this in the oven probably, since it's so small, maybe about 30 minutes at 350. Then we'll test it and see if this is a reasonable substitution for the typical vegan cake. If it is, then we can add the typical, whatever the flavors and all that kind of stuff that she may want. So we'll be right back. All right, so we're back. And our cake has had 30 minutes to bake. So this kind of gives you a little picture of it. I've kind of cut some slits in it just to make sure it was fully done. So I'm gonna just run a knife around the edge to make sure it didn't stick anywhere. Put a little salsa. This is a very small cake. And voila! I don't know if you can see it good. But this is what our cake looks like. So we're going to cut into it. Okay, so I flipped the camera around so you can see as we cut. So it's pretty spongy there. We'll cut a little slice so that you can actually see what it looks like on the inside. So it is fairly dense because it is almond flour. And a little wet because granted we used applesauce. But let's take a taste. It is delicious. The moisture is there from the applesauce, but I think that it works well. So I'll take a taste on camera. I love it. It's so moist. I think the applesauce worked well. This may be something that will please our Etsy customer. So we're going to make her a sample so she can find out.